This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Well, joining us today is Jason Brewer, following news from Edenville Energy that Jason has been appointed Executive Director at the company. So welcome onto Stockbox again, Jason. Of course, normally we're talking to you in your capacity at Marula, but of course this is a new appointment for you. So how did this come about, first of all?
Mark, look, thanks for having me talking in this capacity for Edenville Energy. A while back, I was approached by the directors of Edenville, who are obviously very impressed with what we've achieved at Marula. Its growth, not just in the projects, but in the share price, and being on the Aquis exchange as well. They're very impressed with how we've turned around that company very considerably in a very short period of time. So the board of directors approached me and asked me if I would be interested in getting involved in any capacity and assisting them in basically growing that business, getting value back into the share price, and helping them with their strategy here in Africa. So, you know, I love challenges, I love opportunities, and being here on the ground, I felt I could bring something to them. And I don't like to overcommit myself at any time, but I really felt that this was an opportunity to work with the board and work with other stakeholders and achieve something, again, very special here for Edenville.
Okay. Well, just on that, dedicating time to the different companies. Of course, you're CEO of you're involved with three companies, CEO of Marula, of course, Neo Energy as well, and now Edenville, soon to become Shuka. So, I mean, how do you manage to balance your time across all of those without neglecting any of them?
Look, it's a fair question and one which I've been asked before. Look, Marula, as the Chief Executive Officer there, is a key priority, my key priority. And look, I love that company and I love the team that we've built around that. And as people would have seen, investors would have seen, we did an announcement today just showing how we've strengthened that management team to deliver on our projects and opportunities. Again, with Edenville, it's about working within a team and building a strong team around me. And as people saw in that Edenville transaction, Q Global Commodities, a company that's invested in Marula, are also investing in here. And one thing I've seen with them, they're very hands-on. They've got a very broad and extensive management team here in South Africa, and can really put resources in when required. So my time will be split very, very evenly. Not evenly. Look, it'll be split within those companies, working with those various management teams. There's 24 hours in a day. We've got 2 hours on you here in Kenya with the time zone. So we've got a great opportunity for me to work harder and put in those hours. With Neo Energy, that's a new uranium listing, as you know, in London. And we've got a very good CEO that's been appointed there, a guy by the name of Sean Heathcote, very capable, competent, and he's going to be driving that company. I'm sitting there as chairman and will assist and oversee exactly how things go. But in any company, it's a team. I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I know that I can bring in smart people to form part of that team and drive things forward. And that's exactly what we'll be doing here at Edenville. Okay.
Well, as part of this announcement, it was announced that you raised £1.46 million. Could you give some background to this money, where it came from and how it's going to be deployed?
Yep, sure. Look, we raised 1.468 million there in two tranches. The first tranche of £575,000 and the balance of 893 being subject to shareholder approval at a meeting of shareholders to be held hopefully before the end of this month. That's being advanced by two parties, by Githoni Mushai Investments, which is I'm a director and a major shareholder of here in Nairobi. That's my business entity here with my partner, Jacqueline Mushai, and we invest in property, mining deals and so on. So we're very keen to get involved. We back ourselves, so I think shareholders will be very keen to see that we're busy getting this done and putting our own money in to get it moving. The other investor is Q Global Commodities, who are putting in the balance of that money. And, they really, again, see an opportunity here with Edenville to grow a business and to add significant value. So two investors, two dedicated resource investors, two investors that are very hands-on, and two investors that are here based in Africa, seeing project opportunities and with a very good, I believe, record of delivery.
Okay. Now, is this a complete change of direction for Edenville with a focus on identifying new critical and energy metals projects?
Look, energy metals, I'd like to say, is very much a Marula business. I don't want any conflicts in anything which I do. Far from it. Nobody likes any conflicts in what they do, whether it's in their personal life or in their business life. Marula is that battery metals, energy metals kind of focus, if you want to call it that. With Edenville to be renamed Shuka, that's obviously got its existing assets and which is it's a coal asset based in Tanzania. Literally, I can get there in several hours drive from my base here in Nairobi. The strategy, I guess, going forward will be reviewing opportunities which may well be complementary, strategically important, but ones which won't conflict with my role in any of the other companies that I'm involved in.
Okay. So do you think the Rukwa Coal project, you say it's a flagship asset, will you continue to advance this, or will the focus be on finding other properties that show potential?
Look, that coal asset has been in Edenville for some time, and they've invested considerable capital into it. It's an asset where there's been a lot of work and efforts by the current board to turn that around and to address the operational challenges that it's faced in recent years. I think Q Global Commodity, who are one of South Africa's largest coal producing companies, not just producing companies, they do the haulage, the logistics and the marketing. So you've got no better a stakeholder to review and assess the future viability of that operation. So with that in mind, we'll clearly, it's an asset, it's the key asset of the company at the moment. So we've got to make sure we maximize its value. And that's something we'll certainly do. But in parallel with that, we need to look at how we grow this business. And we said very clearly in the announcement when we announced the strategic investment by both GMI and QGC, that we are looking at and reviewing new project opportunities. And those reviews are ongoing and will continue. And hopefully when due diligence work is completed and properly assessed and approved by the board, then we will look at bringing in other assets which fit well and where we think there's significant value for shareholders.
Okay, well, we can wait to see what that entails then, Jason. Just finally, what are the next sort of corporate activities or corporate stages you've got to go through, including the name change as well?
Of course. Look, we need a shareholder meeting. So there needs to be a circular issued to shareholders approving that second tranche of funding to both GMI and to QGC. They need to approve the name change. So those are the kind of the corporate things which need to be addressed. Once that second tranche of funding is in and the name is changed, then Quinton van der Berg, the CEO and head of Q Global Commodities, one of South Africa's most successful entrepreneurs in the mining sector, will join the board as well. There'll be further board appointments as we move forward with the strategy of the company. But corporatively, those are the key next steps. From an operational point of view, we've got to maintain our focus there on the Rukwa Coal project and complete that assessment and review work there. And of course, in parallel with that, continue to assess any new project opportunities, which as a board, we feel will bring that value into shareholders. So a lot of work happening certainly in June and extending into the second half of this year too.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Jason Brewer, Executive Director of Edenville Energy, soon to become Shuka. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark. Always a pleasure.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.